everyone. Today I am going to be reflecting on my yearly makeup challenge that I have been doing for 2025. And as a lot of you guys know, the last several years, I think really it kind of kicked off around 2020, like when COVID was going on and a lot of us were at home. I was really taking into account the large vastness of my makeup collection, and I really wanted to reflect on the amount of makeup I had, the types of products I had, and so really then was when I started to do a dedicated annual makeup challenge, and they've looked a little bit differently over the last several years. So I'd go back and forth on rotating through my makeup collection and cycling through things and focusing on just using up specific items. So for the first couple of years I was really focused on trying to use up a set amount of products in a single year. So for 2020 my goal was 20 products. For 2021 it was 21 products, so on and so forth. And so I did that for a couple years, and I really did like the feeling of completely using up a product, getting my entire money's worth out of it, not letting it go bad, and there was something so rewarding about that, and I really enjoyed doing those projects. But the more that I did them for a few years in a row, I definitely started to get a little bit stir crazy with just using the same makeup items over and over. So then I kind of switched to a few different type of makeup challenges. So the most recent one that I have just completed for 2025 was a shop my stash kind of style, where every month I would pick out 4 weeks worth of makeup items, like a full face, and each week was a different rotation of products. So in the past I did where I would pick out a full face worth of makeup and use that for a month. But one thing that I wanted to do a little bit differently for 2025 was to do a weekly rotation, so that not only was I getting to scratch the itch of always having something new to play with as far as my makeup goes. I wouldn't get bored or tired of the same stuff, and so that was where the idea came to do the weekly rotations and the shop my stash kind of style, which I am definitely a big fan of for 2025. So I'm just gonna kind of reflect a little bit, a year in review of how my shop my stash went, what I learned from it, what my takeaways were, things like that. So I didn't really sit down and pre-plan out all of my thoughts. I'm really kind of just going off the dome for this one and just kind of stream of consciousness, if you will. So I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. I didn't really gather my thoughts, but I just knew that this was a topic I wanted to do a video on. And I have to say that for 2025 and a little bit of 2024 as well, I was really kind of getting into the mindset of not the underconsumption, because I'm very obviously an overconsumption type of person by nature, and I wanted to reel that back in a little bit. But 24 was really when I was really starting to kind of butt heads with my nature a little bit. And so I really wanted to focus on not bring in as much stuff, which I feel to a certain degree I have kind of done that, but then on the other hand I kind of feel like I haven't as well. I am definitely one of those people that I do not do well with super rigid rules. I like to have structure, I like to have guidance, but if it's so strict to the point of if I break a rule I'm gonna ruin the entire project for myself, that puts a lot of immense stress on me, and I don't do well with that. So I like to have guidelines and a few rigid rules, but then I still like to have the freedoms to, if there's something I really want, I will let myself get it, but I'm trying to be more mindful of what I'm bringing in. And so for 2024 and a lot of 2025, I definitely still have brought in a lot of makeup. There's no way around that, but it's the brands and the types of makeup that I have really limited myself on. So if you guys have kind of noticed, Flower Nose is one of my favorite makeup brands, and I have definitely went a little crazy over the last couple years with Flower Nose because I just enjoy their stuff so much. And then the other brand that I've really enjoyed doing product reviews for is SheGlam, because they come out with really fun like IP collabs and collections that are a little bit more on the affordable side, and I really enjoy that. So it's kind of a good mix between like a medium to higher end brand to more affordable, inexpensive brand. And so those have really been the only two brands that I've really been bringing a lot of makeup into my makeup collection over the last 2 years. And I've definitely toned it down a lot on just like random makeup purchases. Like I used to get like 30 makeup items from Shop Miss A, and they're all like $1 a piece. And one thing I've noticed is that while I will always love an inexpensive, affordable type of alternative for makeup, I definitely don't want to necessarily bring in 10 $1 concealers instead of just having like maybe a 1 or 2 $15 to $20 concealer that I really enjoy. But the problem is, after like years and years and years of buying a lot of inexpensive makeup, it definitely takes its toll, and now I'm left with a lot of products that maybe I like, maybe I don't like, maybe I'll use them just to use them up, because that's another thing. I do not like wasting products. If I can find an alternative use for a makeup item rather than just like throwing it out, that is always going to be my preferred method of how to use the product. So I have definitely gotten really creative with a lot of items that I have had throughout my collection, found new uses for them, used them up, and that is always such a rewarding feeling for me. I've gotten questions before where people are like, well, why do you force yourself to use makeup you don't like? And for me, it's not necessarily I'm forcing myself to use something I don't like. I'm using something because throwing it away to me is way more wasteful and way more upsetting than using a concealer that, you know, maybe it's not my favorite, but it gets the job done and it works just fine. So that is definitely one thing I have majorly learned over this last year with my Shop My Stash. I've had products that are intended for something else, and I find a new way to use it, and I love it for that use, and it works out really well. And there are products that I just use to use them up, but once they're gone and out of my collection, it feels really good to know that it didn't go to waste. And going back to the whole Shop My Stash portion of it, it really was a fun experience to pick out all of the items and get excited for a product coming up. Like maybe I was picking the 4th week of products at the beginning of the month, and I'm like, oh, I just can't wait till I get to use that foundation, or I can't wait until I get to use that palette. And it really brought back some of the excitement that kind of gives you that dopamine rush or like a serotonin rush or whatever it is whenever you buy a new product and you have that anticipation and that excitement. And so I really feel like by having something new every single week was kind of scratching that itch for me, and it really did kind of help dampen the random makeup purchases that I used to do. I'd go on Ulta and I'd look at their sale section and I'd just browse through that 30 minutes and just looking at stuff that's on sale and buying it because it was on sale, not buying it because I truly wanted that item. It was just kind of like, oh, you know, that's on sale, I guess I'll get it. You know, it's a couple bucks, I'll try it out. So I'm trying to minimize the random shopping, the shopping just to shop. So that's why I feel like I have succeeded in one way with my Shop My Stash, with not buying as much like random makeup items. And the things that I have purchased are more pinpointed, like with Flower Nose. Like if there's a collection I want to review and I want to try the products and share them with you guys, I'm going to do that. So that's kind of where that forgiveness and that leniency kind of comes into place, where if I were to do like a strict no buy year, no makeup whatsoever, it would drive me insane and not how I want to live my life. I don't want to tell myself no to the point that I'm giving myself major heartache over the things that I want to buy and enjoy and try. And so now I'm kind of in this cycle of correcting, where now I've got a lot of the less expensive things that maybe they're okay, maybe they're fine, but they're not something that like sparks joy in me. And I want to get to a point to where I don't have as much random makeup to sift through to get to the items that I really, really like. And I know some people are like, well, then why don't you just use your favorites every single day? And I could do that. However, I'm always at war with using the things I like and trying to finish up things in my collection. When it comes down to it, if I take Flower Nose, for example, like my my goal is not to finish up a Flower Nose eyeshadow palette. My goal is to own the palette, to use the palette, to love the palette, but not necessarily to finish it. I want to like keep it for like the prettiness and the novelty and the beautifulness that it is, because it is kind of like a work of art to me. Whereas like a random foundation that I got off of Ulta on sale for $4, you know, that's not my goal to like keep it and have it and own it. It's kind of like what I call like my utility makeup versus like my special makeup. Like I still use my special makeup and I love it, but I treasure it in a different way. Whereas like my utility makeup, it's just there to perform a function, and then when it's gone, and it's not like precious to me. It's not like sentimental to me. Whereas things like Flower Nose products are like beautiful and sentimental to me. And so they just kind of like serve different purposes. So I have been going back and forth with what kind of project I want to do for 2026. And I have a couple items that I really want to do, which I will be talking more in depth in another video kind of announcing my 2026 project, because I definitely have a couple elements that are going to be working together. It's not just like a strict like project pan kind of situation, because I have done those before in the past and I like them and they're fun and they're great, but I always love to put my own spin on things. So I will be talking way more about all of that in another video, but I have been giving a lot of thought lately on how I want to make everything feel fresh again every single year. As much as I have loved the Shop My Stash and the weekly rotation, at some point I do want to do something a little bit different. And for me, there's always the balance between using up products in their entirety and lends itself very well to like a project pan, which I think is great because I love using what I have. But then I also do get a little bit bored of that, and I kind of, that's when the shopping itch really kind of starts to get me. So having the rotation has been a really good way to kind of keep that at bay. So on that side, it's really great for using up like individual items. But if I'm focusing on that, there is 99% of my makeup collection that is not getting used. And that's kind of the hard part of when you have a large makeup collection. So then on the other hand, I really enjoy doing the makeup rotation aspect because I'm using like 70% of my makeup collection throughout the year, whereas I would only be using like 2% of my makeup collection if I did a project pan. So all of this is to say, I don't think that there is a right or a wrong way to use your makeup collection, whether you like to do a rotational type of method or whether you like to do like a project pan type of method. I think both options are great and they work for different people. They work for different people in different seasons of their lives. And I'm definitely one of those people that I like both, but I have to do some type of change up every once in a while. And so what I have taken away from my Shop My Stash this year, one thing that I love is that I got to do all of the rediscovery of items that either I used to love and I just forgot about, and I got to have that re-sparking of joy when it came to a product that I was like, oh man, I used to use this all the time and I loved it. Why did I ever stop using it? And that was such a really fun kind of like rediscovering of some past loves of my makeup items. I have also learned that quality is always better than quantity. I have also learned that unfortunately I do have a lot of products in my makeup collection that have unfortunately gone bad because they didn't get used. They only have a limited lifespan. So I have, through my rotation, I would pick items, and whenever I would actually use those items, that's when I'd realize, oh, this eyeshadow cream is dried up and I can't use it anymore. What a bummer. I can't believe I wasted that product. And believe me, it's like a knife in my heart every time I find a makeup product in my collection that is dried up, unusable, have to throw it away. There's no way I can use it. It makes me feel sick and I don't like that. I hate that so much, and I am trying to do better at not doing that anymore. Like I said though, I'm never gonna be a person who is like a no buy person. I do try to do like a low buy kind of situation for me, but for where I have been in the past and how much money I have spent in the past, I have definitely made a lot of improvements, I will say, over the last couple years, and I think all improvement is good improvement and a step in the right direction. And another thing I have learned is that a lot of makeup items, there are clear like really good makeup items and there's a lot of really crap makeup items, and there are a lot of makeup items that are in between that are just fine. They're good. They're okay. They're nothing that special. they get the job done. They do what they say they're gonna do. It's kind of like if you've tried 1,000 pink lipsticks, after a while, you know, every pink lipstick is kind of a pink lipstick. Are there good ones? Yeah. Are there bad ones? Yeah. Are there amazing ones? Yeah. But I feel like for most of it, there's a lot of products that I have that are all just, they're good. They're just good. Sometimes always searching for the next best thing or the next best thing or the next best thing. After a while, everything just kind of is the same thing one after another. So all of the things that I have learned throughout my Shop My Stash for 2025 are definitely things I'm going to be taking with me into 2026, and how I shop, not shop, use my makeup, how I rotate through my makeup. It's given me like a lot of things to think about and to consider, and I'm definitely looking forward to taking all of those like little kernels of knowledge and applying it for my 2026 life when I kind of formulate and reveal like my method of my makeup challenge for 2026. So definitely be looking forward to that video, but you'll definitely be seeing that coming up soon. Alright guys, so that was just kind of like a really chit-chatty, off-the-cuff, discombobulated ranting of things that I've learned from my Shop My Stash. I hope you guys have been enjoying those videos throughout this year, and I know that I have definitely really been enjoying it, and it definitely has done me some good throughout this year. And if you guys have been also doing a Shop My Stash project or a project pan or any kind of makeup project of your own, definitely leave in the comments below how that went for you for 2025, anything you learned, anything you liked, anything you disliked, and just whatever takeaways you had from your own experience and your own journey with your makeup collection, no matter how big or how small. Definitely don't forget to leave a comment and just let me know what that all entailed for you, because I love reading everybody's like mindsets and what they like to do and how they approach their makeup collection. I just find it so interesting. The other day I was on Reddit for like hours, like reading pages and pages of like different project pan styles and things like that, and I just find it so fun, and it always gives me some little ideas for future projects. Alright guys, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on social media. Links are below, and until my next video, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.